the world had begun seeing reports of a virus on December of 2019. We saw reports that began in China and Europe, but then the first case appeared in the United States January 21st. But no one saw that more was on the way. It was nothing that anyone in our lifetime had ever seen. The virus had become so aggressive that on March 13th, 2020, the United States declared COVID-19 a national emergency. The national emergency meant that non-essential activities were to cease as COVID-19 was declared a deadly virus, and all non-essential individuals were to stay quarantined at home. New Jersey, and more specifically Newark, had been declared hotspots, and it would be foreseen that the quarantine would continue into the summer months. Not even at parks were usable. But what did that mean for United Parks' One Summer Environmental Enrichment Park Rangers Program 2020? Solution? It means we pivot. A pandemic pivot. The Park Rangers program is a program that operates completely outside at a United Parks' One partner park. That's Jesse Allen Park. At the time, under no circumstances were any activities were to happen at any park. Because of the mandatory quarantine, the City of Newark Summer Youth Employment Program canceled all in-person activities. This prompted the United Parks' One officers to discuss planning an alternative Park Rangers program. What could we possibly do? We didn't want it to not happen, so the officers took a look at the current scope of work and began to configure how to make the program virtual.
As you know, this year's program is going to be totally virtual. Everything online.
Our regular program is unique in that not only are we a work experience program, but we are an actual enrichment program and have to normally provide thought-provoking activities and instruction to shape our program each year. Since we've been doing this since 2012 and have that already in place, the pivot was fairly simple. How did we make it fairly simple? There was a number of things that we had to do in order for the virtual Park Rangers program to work and be successful. But we had to make sure we thought of everything fast. There was one important thing we didn't want to happen, and that is we didn't want the Park Rangers to be bored. The mandatory quarantine even shut down school. So the Rangers had already been in virtual school for months. We were sensitive to that and wanted to make the program not only thought-provoking, but fun and innovative. So we asked them, is 3 hours per day online okay? They all said yes. Oh, we put things in place. So many things went into making sure the virtual program operated well. Again, we didn't want our Rangers to be bored, so we created a syllabus that included continuous interaction. We made sure that our Rangers had devices, connectivity, and supplies to complete the program. And how did we do it? Oh, we went virtual. We didn't give up. Summer 2020 was not a blank. United Parks' One created a Zoom account, and everything that we would have done in person, we did online. And it worked. The beauty in me sees the beauty in you. Yes, we completed yoga virtually. Just because it was virtual doesn't mean that it couldn't be done. Every morning at 9 a.m., Rangers came ready to perform yoga and journaling, instructed by Nyota David Shai.
Straighten your body up behind your leg and see how close you can get your leg to your face. Pulling the leg in closer to your face. Taking deep breaths here.
Art and self-expression was a large part of our virtual summer outline. Margie Mia X Johnson created a curriculum that taught the Rangers how to express themselves through art and poetry, appreciate themselves through affirmations, and love themselves through self-awareness exercises. They learned what she taught, and they were able to execute her teachings. As a part of art and self-expression, Miss Mia taught them vision boarding, and she taught them how to create their own affirmations.
So you will have, and we're going to use this. We're going to use our cover of the book as the board that will be a vision board. This is the vision board on the book, the notebook, the top.
She also taught them 2 specific types of poetry, acrostic poetry and blackout poetry. Rangers were given meditative tools like lanyards to decompress from the day while still being at work. They were also given canvases and art tools to participate in paint and sip exercises with Malik Whitaker. They created great masterpieces.
A little
curvy things, but I kind of messed up because the hand's not supposed to be like in the sun. It's supposed to be like on top of it.
Oh man, super dope. Okay.
Now, of course, by the end of the program, the Rangers created a poem together to be performed for the final day presentation as the signature project.
And the branch looked down.
And the river looked up.
And the river said,
You don't know how deep I run. All I need is within me. I am beautiful.
I am going to be successful.
I'm strong.
I am intelligent and I want to be remembered for helping the community. I am me.
Anything is possible.
What y'all want to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for the reason someone smiled.
I want to be remembered for being generous.
I want to be remembered for my optimism. I love myself unconditionally.
I love myself. I love myself.
I love myself.
Park Rangers 2020.
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 Environmental science and gardening essentials. Our Park Rangers Foundation is environmental science. So for Virtual Park Rangers 2020, we incorporated a number of virtual activities and excursions that lent well to keeping the essentials of our foundation. We first wanted to be sure that we gave the Rangers an in-depth hands-on gardening class with United Parks' one member and Master Gardener, Dina Corbin. Dina taught 4 courses throughout the course of the summer on gardening, composting, hydroponic gardening, soil gardening, scrap box gardening, and flower planting. Each Ranger was given their own gardening toolkit, seeds, potting soil, and potting containers to participate in their own gardening experience right from the comfort of their own homes.
The main thing is to make sure that the seeds are covered because the seeds need soil to grow.
The Rangers were also introduced to invasive species with Mike Van Cleef of the Friends of Hopewell Valley Invasive Species Strike Team. And they went on a virtual field trip to Bald Pate Mountain and were taught how to identify invasive species that are harmful to an ecosystem and native species that are helpful to an ecosystem.
So this is a cool, interesting fruit that you can eat.
Rangers were also introduced to a black bee farmer named Tamika Chang, who gave a tour of her bee farm and also taught the Rangers all about beekeeping. Doing it for the hometown. Rangers were taught how to care for their hometown through the following workshops: community involvement, civic engagement, and what's in your water. Rangers were taught community engagement with the Late Bloomer Project's own Derek Ross. This year, Derek Ross conveys to the Rangers that the purpose of what he does is to change the perspective of how we view our community and not become accustomed to the broken windows around us. He does this by letting the Rangers know how they can become more involved in their community.
It affects how we feel, it affects how we think, but it also sends a message that our community expresses how we feel about ourselves. So if we allow our community to continue to be what it is.
Civic engagement was taught by Terrence Bankston. Rooted in Newark civic engagement, since a young man, Terrence Bankston expressed to the Rangers the power they have in their voice and the changes they can make by becoming civically engaged in their community.
All right, this is about civic engagement. We got to seize the moment, right? Somebody earlier said knowledge is power. Layla, what about you? Service learning? Have you heard of that before?
I think service learning has something to do with giving back, and in the process, you're learning about it. So you're helping yourself by helping others.
What's in your water? Presented by Kim Gaddy from Clean Water Action. Environmentalism in Newark has come a long way, and leading the charge is Kim Gaddy, starting with residents becoming more concerned about our water. Rangers were given a first-hand account of the state of environmentalism and the state of our water.
Do you absolutely need a straw to drink your drink?
Nah, not really.
There is enough straws to wrap around the Earth's circumference 2.5 times a day.
Virtual field trips. Just because we went virtual doesn't mean that the Rangers don't deserve to go on field trips. So they took them virtually. The Rangers were treated to 3 virtual field trips. 1 to a Black-owned bee farm, 2 to a beauty supply store that specializes in organic skincare, and to Baldpate Mountain with the strike team. Rangers were introduced to bee farming by Black-owned bee farmer Tamika Chang of Holland Homestead Farm in Holland Township, New Jersey. Tamika owns and operates her own bee farm and is hired to treat other bee farms in New Jersey. On this day, she allowed the Rangers to see her treat a client's farm and taught the Ranger bee farming basics.
You don't see a queen and you see the brood, you know that you got a queen. If there's no brood, then you got a problem.
The Rangers were given a tour of brand new Black-owned beauty supply store, Shavon Beauty in Rahway, New Jersey. Shavon gave the Rangers a tour of her facility, showed them how to make a skincare scrub, and gave them tips on natural ways to treat their skin, body, and hair problems. Rangers attended.
When you first started, did you think that you would want to open up your own shop, or it came later?
That's a good question. Actually, ever since I was about 16, 18, I always had like an entrepreneur spirit. So my first business was actually a photography business.
Attended Baldpate Mountain with Mike Van Cleef Invasive Species Strike Team. Given the current state of affairs, mandatory quarantine, the Rangers attended Baldpate Mountain virtually. The Rangers toured the forestry of the mountain, learning how to keep vegetation alive in an ecosystem.
So you can see there's a lot of different trees that come again. Some that we planted, obviously, like this tulip poplar.
Hands-on activities. Cooking with Chef Soul. Rangers were given the privilege to participate in 2 online cooking classes taught by Chef Althea Soul Green. Chef Soul taught them cooking basics that included cutting skills, sauteing, and how to make a great sauce. Rangers were given 2 recipes and the accompanying ingredients. They were delighted to participate and eat a meal that they were able to cook themselves.
Do we have to do what you did in the second part with the seasonings and the butter?
Yes.
Dad had a lot to do, and I was just like, am I going to bring my mama's house down? And then she came in the house and she saved the day.
Oh, did somebody say paint and sip? Oh yes, the Rangers were able to do a paint and sip workshop with Malik Whitaker. They were given materials to participate in a hands-on virtual paint and sip led by Malik Whitaker. This exercise was used as a mental health exercise to help the Rangers ground themselves, to distract them from everything that is going on in the world, and to allow the Rangers to stay focused and use their time for themselves and be well.
Kiasha? Is that how you say it? Good. I'm glad I said it right. Oh, look at that. Cool. Very nice. Keep going. I like the patterns you got going in there.
United Parks is One always wants to make sure that park rangers have tools for success. The Tools for Success workshops include working from home essentials, financial awareness, turning your passion into profit, and social entrepreneurship. With working from home essentials, Rangers were treated to a conversation concerning working from home with Cornelius McGrady, work from home security IT director. He expressed to them the importance of a quiet environment, free of distractions, and the importance of staying focused while at work.
When I'm working. I don't have the home and distractions, but now, as they get incorporated in, I just have to roll with it. I do.
The Rangers were treated to 2 financial basics classes, one with Kashim Lateef Holland of The Financial Boss and Mr. Drew Scott, the Financial Literacy Guy. Rangers were given financial literacy tips from local industry professionals. They were given tips on saving, spending, opening a bank account, investments, and so much more. Oh yes, the Rangers were taught to do what you love.
My mom, she signed me up for like a young entrepreneur class at Rutgers.
Okay.
And at first I didn't want to start no business, but like once I got into the program, it was like, it kind of seemed like fun. And it actually kind of is.
No, like I said, I'm a strong advocate for ownership and entrepreneurship, because let's say there was like a meme on Instagram and it said, you could work 40 hours a week However, the amount of products or services you could offer are limitless.
Turning your passion into profit with Lisa Charles. Rangers were given a lesson in entrepreneurship by taking what they love and turning it into a money-making opportunity. Lisa surveyed the Rangers and their interests and gave them steps on taking their small business to the next level to make money.
Okay, Tabor, can you read your sentence? Who are you?
Tabir.
I don't know.
You don't know? Then this is for you. I love that you said that. Thank you, Tabir, for saying that. Because you want to know something? A lot of people don't know. A lot of people, all ages, don't know who they are. So this is something I want you to work on, because when you're able to know these answers, nothing will stand in your way.
Social Entrepreneurship with Dan Denos. Becoming an entrepreneur doesn't always mean selling items. It can mean starting a nonprofit to build your own community. Rangers were given a teach on how to be a social entrepreneur. Dan taught that social entrepreneurship benefits the community in which you live so that you can become more fulfilled.
If you truly believe that you can accomplish all things, you will accomplish all things. If you truly believe in your mind, right, that you will get to where you want to get, you will be able to do so.
Mission complete. We did it. We beat the pandemic. It's signature project time. At the end of the program, even though we were virtual, Rangers were able to give their experience in their own words in the form of a student-led virtual signature project presentation. Complete with a PowerPoint presentation and some video compilations they created to accompany the presentation. All were invited to attend. The Rangers did an excellent job. Take a look.
The long stem of a rose is like my body, tall, strong, and ready to defend myself from anyone who try to pluck me from the earth's soil.
I just wanted to a little elaborate on what Khalil said with the speakers that we've encountered throughout this program. And for the financial literacy guy, he taught us an art in saving money.
I want to say thank you to everybody that's on here, all of the people, the guest speakers, but to our students, our park rangers, I want to thank you for your creativity.
On behalf of the staff, we would like to express our deepest thank you to Scott Dvorak at the Trust for Public Land and Trusting United Parks as one with taking on being able to do the Park Rangers program virtually. Thank you to Donna Kirkland for advocating for the program to be virtual.
Although this year was virtual, it was my first working experience. I had a great time doing yoga and learning how to cook as I was having fun with the park ranger.
Being a park ranger has been and will forever be an amazing experience.
So I had a great summer. Even though it was virtual, we had some challenges technologically, but I still believe that we built community and we helped to empower them so that they felt good about who they are and who they can be.
My name is Renee Williams, and I want to share with you some highlights from my experiences working with the United Parks as One Park Rangers Summer Program. Just let me let you know that these are a phenomenal group of people to work with. It is my pleasure to work with them always, and I know that if you have the opportunity to meet them, you'll feel the same way and my same excitement. Thank you so much.
We know that it was the first time for something like this to occur in the history of environmental programs, but thank you for helping us make it happen. Even during a pandemic, we were able to continue to host quality, informational, robust, thought-provoking programming. We could not have done it without the Trust for Public Land. Thank you again, and we will see you next year.